And we are live. Happy Wednesday, everyone, our beautiful friends. Welcoming you to our little corner of the universe here. Hopefully you are thriving, you are discovering, you are asking many questions. Welcoming you all. This is Doug, this is Lenka. And today is May 3rd, 2023. And we are continuing on our discovery of this wonderful world of constructive art. You must love it. You must love it. It's a great time to be alive, guys. And we are bringing you another part of our series of the mortgage fraud. So, mortgage fraud part 6. If you haven't seen the previous parts, make sure that you do start from part 1. All right, we are taking you on this journey, on a journey of discovering what's been done to us. And we are waking up. And many of you would not want to even believe what has been happening. So we are just waiting for a few moments for people to join in because this is a live broadcast. And you can always ask questions. This is posted on Facebook, on YouTube. And just keep asking. Keep asking many questions. So we've been walking you through what's been really happening in today's society where we don't have money, okay? We haven't had money. We've never paid for anything. So how is it possible that we can go to a company and they tell us that they are giving us a loan, right? So Doug, do you want to maybe say a little bit about that?
Well, define what a loan is.
Right.
You know, by definition, a loan is something of exchange. So when you say something of exchange, that means you exchange something. It has to be something that's real.
A value.
Okay? A value of substance. All right. It can't fictionally exist somewhere in some computer, somewhere in the inner space, right? It has to actually be a tangible substance, okay, a value, in order for there to be a loan. They have to give you something, a substance, and you have to take full custody, care, and control over it. By definition, for there to be a loan, okay? So the reality is, when you went in, they tell you, hey, come and we're going to loan you something, okay? Well, first off, they have nothing to loan. Nothing of theirs to loan. Let me qualify that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is, see, you're a creditor, but since everything's been inverted through the bankruptcy, your all capital letter name is a debtor. And you're the surety, without them disclosing that to you, of the all capital letter name. Okay? So the debtor goes around and gets in all kinds of trouble because the debtors are part of their corporate assets, okay, chattel. And so if it conducts itself in a manner unbecoming of their private corporate policies, then they issue a bill of attainder or a bill of pains and penalties against the straw man, okay? And they hold you as surety for that straw man because you're dumb enough to answer for it, okay?
See, so a lot of people do not realize that you get something in mail, right? And it looks like it's your name, right? Let's say that your name is Joe Schmo, right? And Joe gets something in the mail and it's spelled in all capital letters. And Joe Schmo, the man, Joe, thinks that, hey, it's actually coming to the living man. And it's actually not.
I wonder if there's some guy out there listening, his real name is Joe Smo. I bet he thinks...
Okay,
I bet he feels
so
picked
Joe
on.
Smith.
I'm just
Joe
saying.
Smith.
Everybody talks about Joe Smo or, John Q.
Joe,
Public or John
Joe.
Doe. I was just wondering if there's anybody out there that's actually named that, feels picked on. If there is, I feel sorry for you, homie.
Anyway, so Joe Schmo receives these presentments in mail in all capital letters,
Well,
and
why are
thinks,
they presentments?
well, explain it to us.
Because everything's in commerce.
Right.
Okay,
We
so
think that it's a bill, but it is not.
So in commerce, you get a presentment. They present something to you, and, depending on how they present it, they've got you indoctrinated that when they send you a receipt, we are now, indoctrinated to believe that it's a bill. Okay?
Because
so,
everything is inverted. We
and
are
so
functioning
we
in bankruptcy.
We give them more of our sweat equity, and they get to double dip. Okay? So they get paid twice, or actually compensated twice.
More than twice, because then it's traded.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, they get compensated twice for the same thing because we haven't been properly informed. See, this is an information war that we're in, okay? We've been in it for quite a while, all right? But they treat us like mushrooms. They keep us in the dark and feed us bullshit, right? And then they expect us to operate and function at a level that we comprehend the games that they're playing on us that haven't been fully disclosed, right? And so, we end up letting them, basically take our sweat equity and rob us blind, okay?
That's right. And so today we will be talking about how do they do it, okay? So let's start from the very beginning, right? You want to buy a house, right? You need a home for your family. So you pick a nice realtor, real estate agent, right? Someone comes recommended, and it's a nice lady, she has a nice smile, she knows the business, right? She says, oh yeah, Joe, I'm going to let me take you around and I will show you all these properties, right? So let's call her Sue. So Sue, the realtor, takes you and shows you all these houses, right? And then you see this perfect house with a perfect property, with a perfect pool, right? And so you say, hey, Sue, I want to go to see this house. So Sue takes you, and Sue has a nice outfit and perfect hair and makeup and nails done, and she knows the real estate language and all that stuff, and she will give you all the comps and all that information, and she will tell you how great neighborhood it is and how great school it has and how amazing it is. And you say, okay, Sue, I'm ready to go to see that house, right? So Sue takes you and she shows you a house, a $500,000 house with this beautiful 1 acre property with a pool, nice building, barbecue, right? And inside the house is all upgraded with granite countertops and perfect bathrooms and hardwood flooring and all these fancy refrigeration systems and whirlpool in the bathroom and all that stuff, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, I totally love this property, right? And they take you in and say, okay, well, let's get the escrow started, right? And so what do? They start shoveling all this paper on your throat, right? And it's like, I will show you, it's like stacks. Like one set is about like this big, okay? About this big, all right? And they keep just shoving that to your throat, and you're like, you are working your job, right? And you have 2 kids to take care of, and your parents are elderly, so you have to take care of them, and then the dog is sick, so you don't have really time to go through all this bunch of paperwork. So you trust Sue, your real estate agent, and you trust Jim, who is the escrow officer, and Matthew, you, who is the title company agent, because they are so professional and they speak such a smooth language and they know all the perfect terms and everything is so professional, right? So professional, and everyone is dressed nice and they just conduct themselves in such a professional way that you don't question anything, because hey, it has to be all legal. All this paperwork has to be legal, right? Because, how could they otherwise do that, right? So you just trust and you just put your autograph, on all these papers, okay? And then, okay, we do we have a sample of it here? We don't have a sample. And one of the papers is your application for the loan.
The application disappears.
And the application disappears. So you want to tell us, Doc, what the application actually is?
Well, the application's a draft. It's basically a draft and a promissory note. And that's what gets deposited. That's what everything else is built off of. That's what starts the whole process. And so, they monetize that, and then that's what funds everything else that takes off from that. And, as far as them being professional and everything else, that's all good. But, when you're sitting down and you're looking over stuff and you tell them, well, I want to see the legal description of the property. And so you get a legal description of the property and you find out there's an APN number there. And you look at it, you tell them, excuse me, what does that APN stand for? And they'll say, it's the assessor's parcel number. Oh, okay. Then the question that you ask them is, well, now after we sign this thing, you're going to turn that to a DPN, right? What do you mean DPN? Well, that's
it would be JPN.
No.
Joe Schmo.
Oh, Joe Schmo, okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about Joe Schmo.
No, I was talking about me.
Yeah, no, Joe Schmo is buying the property.
Okay, well, a JPN then.
JPN.
Okay. And they'll say, well, what are you talking about? Well, I'm buying the property, right? And if it's the assessor's parcel number right now, when I sign this thing and pay this so-called money of account, that's going to be Joe's parcel number, right? And when they tell you, well, no, well, now you've got something to be concerned about. Because why isn't it going to be Joe's parcel number? Why is it going to stay the assessor's parcel number? And why am I listed as a tenant? Does that mean I'm renting this piece of property from the assessor? Or does this even describe a piece of property?
Right? And so we were sold this land and everything that sits on the land, but in reality, we were really sold the assessor's parcel number, which is an illusionary overlay over the land, and this is why your deed states you as a tenant on your own property that you were made believe that you purchased. Okay, so now how is this all possible? I want to really talk about our experience when you go through the process of asking, because we are asking, right? We are all peaceful, we are all lawful, and we just have some questions, right? So we researched some of the history. We researched the fact that there is really no money of exchange, since these smart attorneys and banksters created this system of constructive fraud and took all the lawful money away from us in 1933. So how is this really working, right? So you do your research and you find out that no, we don't have money of exchange. We have only money of account.
There is no money.
And that we, the people, are the creditors. Okay, we are the creditors. When we put that autograph on that application, which is the draft, which creates the security, is the so-called money of account, all right? Money of account. So now, how do they cover the tracks when you start asking all these questions? Please show me that you loaned me something of substance of yours, okay? And so I want to show you what happened to us, okay, after asking that question, that simple question, right? For there to be a loan by definition, this is what we got, okay? Look at this, okay? This is 8 months of asking question, okay? This is about 8-inch of paper, all right? Super heavy, guys. I hope that you have a close look of it. Look at it, okay? They literally cut a forest, okay? And let me tell you about this paper. It's all BS. It's the same BS, okay, where they are unable to provide the evidence that they loaned us something of substance of theirs for there to be a loan and for there to be a mortgage. And if there is no loan and there is no mortgage, then there is no debt. And so this is how they do it. They keep shoveling. They keep shoving.
Yeah.
It's my Spanglish.
They keep trying to shove that down your throat.
All this. Look at this. Oh, look at this. Okay.
What it is, they don't have the necessary documentation to verify the loan. Okay. And by law, they have to verify the loan. All right, if you ask them to.
By federal rules of evidence, they have to provide you the evidence that they loaned you something of substance of theirs, okay, for there to be the loan by definition. And so what they do is they keep just shoving this paper and paper and paper, and you even call them up, right? You call them up, and you get someone on a phone. And, you know, they, of course, ask you, what's your full name? Okay, my name is Joe Schmo. They ask, what is your loan number? You give them your loan number, okay? And then, you know, this is Jennifer, right? Jennifer from the mortgage company ABC. And I ask, well, Jennifer, it's great to talk to you finally after, you know, I was on hold for 30 minutes. I'm so excited to finally talk to you, a living woman on the other side. So Jennifer, do you have a last name, Jennifer? Oh, I have an employee ID number, and my employee number is 124854. Oh, okay, Jennifer. And do you have a last name? Oh, we are not allowed to give that last name. I'm like, oh, Jennifer, that's kind of a little bit concerning to me because, you see, you have my full name. You have my address where I live. You have my social security.
My financial
all my financial information, Jennifer. And I cannot have your last name. Can I maybe have someone else who can give me a last name, Jennifer? Oh, no. We are not allowed to give you. We are not allowed to provide that information. We cannot provide you our last name. Well, Jennifer, that's kind of concerning to me. You see, you have all the information about me, where I live, you know, all my financial information, my social security number, and all of that, and you cannot give me that simple information, your last name, Jennifer? Well, you see, Mrs. Coloma, that's for security reasons, you know. What did that one guy say? That, oh, I am a kind of pretty active on social media. What was his name? Do you remember his name, the dude?
No, I can't.
Okay.
And he told us so many names.
And he told us that, you know, people could go after him. And let's call him Bob, okay? We can't remember his name. And I said, Bob, why would people go after you, you know? we are business partners, right? You guys, the mortgage company that you represent, were supposed to give me a loan, right? So we are doing business, right? So it's like based on honorable. You give me a service, you gave me a loan,
trust.
right? And I gave you, and I'm paying you money for that service, for that loan, okay? So we are like buddies, right, Bob? Like this, that just doesn't make sense. You see, the thing is, people in honor, right? They work under full disclosure. You see, like I will tell everyone where I live, what my full name is, because I am in honor. I am doing an honorable business, so I'm not worried that someone will be coming after me, trying to hurt me or do something to me or damage my reputation because I am doing an honorable business. You see, the whole thing is that only criminals and dishonest and people who function or work in dishonor have to run and hide. Okay? Only criminals have to run and hide. Honorable people have nothing to hide. They will tell you their last name. They will tell you anything you ask them because we are doing business. So we are business partners, right? So when someone tells you at these companies that they are supposed to be working, with you and for you, that they cannot give you last name, well, that's now really raising big, huge concern. And it should be raising concern for you too, okay? So then what happens is, as you keep asking all these questions, right, and you start really questioning if you are actually loaned something of substance of theirs, which we know that we were not because there is really no money, right? You get put on this automated calls, okay?
Yeah.
And every morning at 9:30, they are calling.
It ranges from 9 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll get a call, and it'll say, "Hi, this is Sean Corkery. Please call me back at this number." It's the same number that's calling, right? Well, wait a minute, Sean Corkery. Isn't that giving somebody a last name? So when we go and try to call Sean Corkery, and nobody can find him. But they'll gladly help us. Well, what's your last name? Once again, they can't give us a last name. So it's all bullshit right from the gate.
So hold on a second, right? So we call in for Sean Corkery, that suddenly someone works for that mortgage company who has a last name and is allowed to give the last name. But when we call for Sean Corkery, he's never there. He's never available. And we don't even think that he actually exists, right? But there is always someone else from the customer care team who can assist and help us, but yet they cannot give us their last name.
And it's real simple. I mean, we asked them a very simple question, okay? To verify the loan by producing the evidence of the account that held something of substance of theirs that Lenka Coloma took full custody, care, and control over for there to be a loan by definition. Just show us the account, show us the substance. Because she doesn't remember ever getting anything from them. Not a check, not anything. Yet that application that was signed and deposited had a cash value of what she supposedly was trying to borrow. Mm-hmm. So what they did was they basically loaned her own credit back to her with interest, which is called usury.
That's right.
All right.
That's
so
right.
they never gave her a loan by definition. So if there is no loan, there cannot be any mortgage. If there is no mortgage or mortgage debt, there cannot be no real estate investment trust, RESPA, or any other bullshit that they want to come with.
See, because that's what this big stack is all about, okay? They want to sidetrack you, derail you, confuse you, exhaust you. Okay, look at this. This is exhausting. Just holding it, okay, is exhausting, okay? And that's their game, all right? Because they have hundreds, probably couple thousand of employees, right? You get always routed through someone else, right? And they are basically doing the same thing. You have to wait first to get on a call with them for about 20-30 minutes, right, out of your busy schedule day. Then, you have to repeat yourself for another 20 minutes. You have to wait for at least 15 minutes to be transferred to someone else, okay? So these calls can take somewhere from an hour and a half, okay?
And you get nothing accomplished.
You get nothing accomplished.
Okay, and you can call right back and not talk to the same people.
Ever again. You will never ever talk to the same person.
It's all a game that they play, and what they do is they try to run you around in circles, okay? And once they start running you around in circles, they'll play games with your payments and the acceptance of payments and all of that stuff to try to make you delinquent. And how can you be delinquent if there is no loan? If there was no loan and no debt, how can you be delinquent in anything? See, the root of everything is the fact that they never loaned you anything, and they can't prove
because they could never loan you anything. When we are living in a world of no money.
There is nothing of exchange.
How can they loan you something?
It's all a game. It's all a psyop, and it's to keep you in involuntary servitude. Because everybody busts their ass just to be able to pay their mortgage. Okay, and to be real frank with you, it doesn't even represent the home that you're living in. Mm-hmm. It represents a special map and a small square on that special map, okay, that has an APN number across it, and that's the only place that it exists.
So when you discover the fraud and you keep asking and you are not getting the answers and you default them, right? And then you take them through your own private administrative process of non-judicial foreclosure, right? Now you are flipping the cards on them, you see? Because it's actually somewhere in the stack of papers, and we should probably do a special video just on that, okay? We will show you what they've created for themselves, okay? They never want you to know about this, but this is how they foreclose on people. This is how they take their hard-earned property, okay, from people that already paid for the property, yet were never sold the land.
No. They were never paid. They never paid for the property because the property was never sold. The property has been in a trust as collateral for the debt of the United States.
That's correct.
And they, instead of giving it back to the people after the third bankruptcy, they held it in trust until people claim it. And the only way you make a claim is to update the land patent, because land is either granted or assigned here. So you never paid for any land. You paid for the assessor's parcel number. That's all that you've paid for, which is basically something that exists.
It's fiction.
It's fiction. Okay? It exists within their corporate structure. All right? They've made a false claim to the land without paying anything or giving anything for it. Then they say, well, we're not really messing with the land. It's everything, a few inches above the ground and up. It's all of the fixtures on the land that we're claiming. Well, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. If you don't own the land, you can't own the fixtures that are on the land. Now, I don't care what your claim is. What you've done is you've made up a bunch of different words that describe nothing of value or in reality, real estate. Well, yeah, some estates are real, but what's that got to do with the house and the land that you just showed me? Okay? Let's get down to it. It's all a game.
So after they are running you around in circles, confusing you, derailing you, exhausting you, bamboozling you, running you through all these, heavy stacks of paper where they are literally killing our forest doing that, okay? Then they start threatening you with foreclosure, right? But the foreclosure is actually on the APN number. That's what they secured. All right? So yeah, go ahead, foreclose on the APN number, because my APN numbers are with the tax assessors in the tax assessor's office. They are right there. That little parcel number that someone placed over my land. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that fascinating?
No, I think it's kind of stupid. You know, there, let's make a map up, lay it over the other map, and instead of calling it land, we're going to call it a parcel, and we're going to put an A in front of the parcel and an N after it, and put a number.
That's right. Okay. And the saddest part is that they actually, get so many good people, men and women actually participating in the system of constructive fraud called the real estate. The real estate.
The real estate business.
The real estate business. You have all the realtors, you have all the escrow officers, you have all the title officers, and they don't even know what's really going on. And this is how this can all happen. And of course, then you have the mortgage companies. Because I know that the people we call and talk to, they think that they are actually doing good job. Like we talk to so many people and they say, I just wanted to help people to get houses, right? Help families to get homes that they can actually call theirs. And they don't even have an idea that they are actually part of criminal enterprise. And that's how it's done, because it's all compartmentalized. They don't know the big picture. Everyone is told what they have to do. They come to a job from 9 to 5, right? And you have to check this box. And you have to check that box and that box. And if you check all these boxes, okay, if you are good, if you just follow this routine like a robot, we can promote you to a manager, right? And then as a manager, you do this section. Okay, and then you are the vice president, and you make sure that all these other people are doing their box checking, right? And they don't know what's really going on, what has actually happened to the land, what has actually happened to the money, to the actual money. No one has clue, and this is how it's able to happen and proliferate. So if you haven't watched our previous videos, make sure that you do. This is part 6. Start from part 1. And we will continue to educate you. So if you should decide to enslave and be the free men and women, with all their rights that been guaranteed to you, you are more than welcome. So we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a blessed day.